batch, 155. I'm going to weigh out, I think 6 pounds or so here of the 2-row. We'll get this ground up here. I know this bucket here holds just about 4 pounds, but I weigh it out anyway, my dish. There's 3. This should make 4 probably right here. Couple kernels shy. Couple kernels shy. A couple kernels over like I really care. Doesn't matter. So there's 4 pounds there. We'll get that into the hopper and we'll get that ground up. Got my grill working again. So we're grinding this up here. So far I got 6 pounds of 2-row. I got 2 pounds of Munich, and I believe I got 2 pounds of biscuit malt in here. And I'm going to still be adding a few other ingredients. My strike water is coming up to temperature slowly here. We're doing a nice slow brew in the morning. I still got my coffee going here. I'm going to come up with a name for this. Probably halfway through the brew. All right, I'm running in the strike water. A couple degrees hotter, like I say. I come in at, this is 162, so we'll see what happens here. Everything's cold out here. But here's the grain in this bucket. We just ground up, mandatory grain fondling. You can see the chocolate come to the surface there. Let's test my memory. Let's test my memory here. The wife will call me out if I'm wrong. I have 6 pounds of 2-row in here. I also have 2 pounds, this should be simple, of Munich malt. I have 2 pounds of biscuit malt. I believe I have 2 pounds of Maris Otter.
1 pound.
Oh, we're off on that one. I have 5 ounces of coffee malt. Oh, I know what I forgot. And I have 2 pounds of white wheat. And I forgot the most important part of it all here. I like to have, I don't have to weigh it out yet. Like oats, baby.
And Jericho.
And we'll mix that into the mix there. And we'll stir that up before we put it in. Strike water, we started out at 162 in the main burner. As she hit the mash tun here, it dropped, another little fly, it dropped down a couple degrees. So we're going to dough in here. We should be right at about 150, 154, right at range. 152, someplace in there. And I always keep a little hot water in the tank left if it needs to come up a little. It does need to come up a little. And I have room for it. So, I'll put in some more hot water. That'll pop out of there. That'll pop right out of there.
I know, I learned my lesson about that.
All right, we're gonna have to stop right here. 152. 152. Okay, that's not bad. On our spot, tell Suri to start a dough-in time here. Hey Suri, wherever you are. Can you hear me over there, Suri? Set a timer for 1 hour. Timer set for 1 hour. And we'll come up with a name with this as we brew on. It's batch 155. It's going to be like a cookie dough beer. It's going to be biscuity. Have a taste of chocolate in there, like I say, a little coffee malt I meant.
Sugar in.
And we're putting some candy sugar into this batch, which was made 2-3 months back with my granddaughter, and that has a nice caramely cookie flavor. It actually, when you eat it and taste it, you bite into it, it tastes like the edge of a Chips Ahoy cookie. More of a burnt edge, like you made it in your own oven. It's delicious. So we're going to add probably a pound or whatever, maybe the whole bag. This will bring the ABV up into a crazy range. I mean, I guess right around about 1070 or something. We'll see how this batch goes along. Okay, batch 155. We're off to the boil kettle here after 1 hour. And we're going to name this one Blasted Biscuit. Blasted Biscuit. I don't know why, but it's supposed to have a biscuity flavor with the type of... I do all my own recipes, so I put stuff together to taste the way I think it's going to taste, and we'll find out on the major taste test. But the color's kind of nice. Got a nice taste to it. So we'll go off to the boil kettle here. Make sure my valve is closed. The wife is helping again today. Without her, I couldn't get it done. So shout out to her. So we're going to drain this to the boil kettle, get her going. Our first addition of hops will be 3 ounces. 3 ounces of our homegrown 2022 Cascade leaf hops. And they're actually still frozen. And we'll put those in the basket and get them going in here. And how you doing? One of those. But she's got a nice smell here with the Munich malt, the biscuit malt. It's going to taste like a good beer. I'm sure it's going to be a good beer. I like to get the specific gravity before the boil, the SG, pre-boil, and I take a couple readings. First reading is 1046. Second reading is, we'll find out here in a minute, 1047. And I'll take one more reading. I wipe this on my shirt. So far I got 1047. The wife's got the sheet she'll write down later. I'm going to let your sample cool a little bit like you do with hydrometer. A couple drops on there. A couple drops. Back up to the light. And we get 1050.
Whoa.
So, I'm going to come back and put a little more on and see what happens. A couple drops. Oops. And, let it cool a minute. 1050. 1052.
Wow.
That's specific gravity. That's before boil. So we're definitely with the candy sugar. We're going to hit the 1070s. I'm almost sure of that. And just get a little rinse over there. And we're going to boil. Here comes the hot break. Let's see if we make it without rolling over here. Spilling out. Close, close, close. I don't want to turn the flame down. I think I'll make it. She's trying. Oh, she's trying hard. I don't know. I didn't turn the flame down yet. Trying to break it up with the spoon a little. She is right at the top. I'm going to have to turn it down. We spilled over. A little bit we spilled over. That's all right. There we go. She came right up to the top, and she spilled over a little bit right here. See, the camera sees that. Right here we spilled it over. And there we go. That is the break. Now the hops. 2 here we go. I got 3 ounces of homegrown Cascade hops. I want to make sure I get them in the basket without missing any. She'll plug the valve. And we got to get the Willamette set up. Set timer. 10 minutes in, we're going to get an ounce of Willamette. I'm stuck in there. Put them in the basket. And I'll stir them in, make sure they're getting juiced up there. Because the leaf hops take up a lot of room in the basket. So I'll stir the pellet hops down into the bottom there. And there we go. I like to put my wort chiller totally submerged. You can tell it how clean it is as it sits into the sanitizer and the acid solution. And I keep my fermenter totally submerged until the beer's ready to go in it. And I keep the wort chiller submerged like that until it's ready to go into the wort. And so I make sure it's sanitized that way. So that's just how I do it. I guess this is batch 155 today, and we're calling it Blasted Biscuit, from what I understand. I think the wife came up with that name. So, Blasted Biscuit it is. Here's the mead cooking. Here's the jolt still fermenting. This will go to the keg next week sometime. So yeah, we're ready to put our final edition in here pretty soon, so we'll be getting that going shortly. All right, with 25 minutes left, I'm going to stir in the candy sugar. Should have broken it all up more. Should have been broken up more. We're going to make sure this don't stick to the bottom. I'll have to stir it. So we're going to dump it into one lump sum. Here we go. 1 ounce of candy sugar.
12.5 ounces.
Or 12 and a half ounces, you said? Starting to melt already. I don't want to just trying to make sure it ain't stuck to the bottom. Melting in as we speak. I don't think anything's on the bottom. And I see it's all melted in. Close to it. About 8 minutes away from the next edition of hops. Okay, last 15 minutes gets another ounce of Willamette hops. They're in. I'm going to stir them into the basket to make sure that they soak in good. They're in. Woo! We get a cupful of yeast energizer. That's in. We get a cupful of Irish moss. That's in. And I don't think I forgot anything this time. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Woo! 1072. Final gravity, 1072. Flame out, baby. Flame out. I get the wort chiller in. Whew. And chilling. Camera off. Man, I hate these little flies around here. It's T58. It's a decent yeast. I've used it many times. Everything's sanitized. Like to get it in now. Yeast is in. I like to tilt the kettle, make things go faster. So once this is in there, put the cover on there, how you doing? And I wash the kettle out, we done. Batch 155. Biscuit, something.
Bastard biscuit.
Bastard biscuit. No. Blasted. Blasted biscuit. Shrub, and we're empty. Right there, baby.
Number 10:30.
3.5 hours, she said, but I think she's wrong. So I took my time on this one a little slower. So we're gonna go wash the kettle and get this off into the copacetic places that it needs to be. In the air-conditioned garage here, set the temperature down so she has a good fermentation temperature. And the summer jolt is still up there, fermenting away.